Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Kerst, and I'm an ergonomist working with Humantech. I recently had the opportunity to present on the topic of designing for the aging workforce at the Applied Ergonomics Conference in Dallas, Texas. If you haven't attended the Applied Ergonomics Conference, it's a great way for practitioners to be able to share with practitioners. We'd like to extend that discussion with you through this summary of a short presentation that was provided at the conference. Feel free to share this information if you find it value added. A little bit before we get started about Humantech, we're an applied ergonomics consulting firm that's mission is to provide effective, efficient, and sustainable improvements in all business metrics related to ergonomics. We do that through a combination of training and education, workplace assessments, and also assisting in design. The topic that we're going to cover in terms of designing for the aging workforce really have three key points. One, what are the demographics, and so what are the influences that are shaping the aging workforce? Two, what are some high-level strategies that companies are taking at a macro level to address this need? And three, what are some concrete tactical elements that you can actually apply from a day-to-day basis? So addressing the first one, we're talking about the baby boomers. In fact, if we look at some of the data around the baby boomers, there are over 10,000 baby boomers that turn 65 every day. And think about that. You know, we're based here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's in less than 2 weeks, we could fill that stadium every 2 weeks. Some of the interesting data to support around this is that 58% of those folks who are planning on retiring are actually going to work beyond that time frame, and nearly half of them plan to work well into their 70s. So what we see is a changing in our thoughts about what retirement might be, and also a changing in perspectives. So there is a new way of looking at things in terms of the age and the aging workforce. Our good friends at the Boston College Sloan Center for Work and Aging have developed or coined the phrase, the prism of age. And much like looking through a prism and changing your view, people are changing the way they view age. You know, concepts like 60 is the new 40, or that, we see folks who are over 55 being some of those folks who actually go back and get more education, new skills, the ability to mentor and provide, value-added activities beyond the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even to their 90s in some cases. So we look at where the workforce is going to come from. We understand that we are, as they've called it, a silver tsunami, or a wave of those aging workers. We know that the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics tells us that the fastest growing percentage change in the labor force is those 55 and up. In fact, 65 and 75 and up. We know that those folks at the 16 to 24 age bracket are actually going to be reduced. So we have this influence, and we say, what are we going to do about it? Well, perhaps a different way of looking through that prism of age is to see what the opportunity that might be leveraged could be. In fact, our older workers bring to the table a lifetime of knowledge. In many cases, this can offset declines in cognitive skills. We find that they show up on time. They're motivated, and they are a great mentor for new recruits and transferring a lifetime of skills and knowledge. Some of the companies that realize and benefit from this opportunity are those like CVS Caremark, who have instituted a high-level approach where it's called the Snowbird program. Individuals are able to have a job in the north, for example, during the summer time frame, and then migrate to a position, much like the birds, in the south in the winter. Other organizations like the Mercy Health System and other educational institutions like the Cornell Encore program have a work-to-retire program, so that sort of transitions them into those retirement ages with reduced hours, some job sharing and mentoring. So these are some of the benefits of the aspects of when you're able to accommodate the aging workforce. I would tell you that there are at least 10 items that we need to pay careful attention to if we're going to be able to get some of these potential benefits. Some of them are above the shoulder. We see such issues as vision degradation, hearing, and cognitive ability, and some of those things below the shoulder, some of the strength issues, physiology, effects of shift work, and even things like slips, trips, and falls, and work-related musculoskeletal disorders as well. What we do know is if we injure an older worker, they're going to take a lot longer to heal. So what are 4 concrete things we can take away from this presentation to apply in our workforce today? Well, the first item is pretty simple. Here's a bright idea. Get a bright idea. So using a better quality of illumination, using LED, light-emitting diodes, as opposed to an example here I've listed on the left-hand side is a high-pressure sodium fixture. We're able to actually use a lower wattage, 150 watts, to get better viewing and better path finding, and not only in a warehouse situation, but also in an outside situation. Here you can see on the left-hand side, having a 20% increase in illumination and also increasing the quality of illumination can help folks not only find what they're looking for, but do it without slips, trips, and fall likelihood. Number 2, here's a simple solution. Keep it within arm's reach or the comfort zone. We like to say if you can't walk up and shake hands with the workplace, it's unfriendly. So our practical approach number 2 is keep it within touch. Here you can see Melvin reaching out to a specific keyboard, and then by changing that design, we can see how much more improved it is. See how happy Melvin is here. Third, here's a simple idea, is to turn our grips and utilize the body's leverage away from pinch grips, as you see on the right-hand side, and moving more to power grips. Power grips can be applied using a whole hand position. It allows about 5 times better strength utilization by an individual, and it can more than offset some of the decreases that we see in human capability as a person ages. On the right-hand side, you see one of those stinky pinch grips applied to trying to move a knob, and on the left-hand side, you can see a nice power grip, and this is a ratcheting fixture handle. Finally, one of the other approaches that we have shared is really talking about how much folks use and force and lifting. You can see an individual trying to, I don't know if you ever struggle with pulling a trash bag out of a trash can, but a lot of that's based on suction. So there are some simple design changes like providing vents along the trash can itself, and often people ask me, what's the best way to lift? Is it bend your knees? Is it to, use your back? And I'd say the best way to lift sometimes is don't. And so we also see the utilization of equipment that can help us. So, practical approach number 4 is don't force it. So as we look through this, and this is just a very short summary of that presentation, there were a couple of key points. One, we have a wave of folks who are coming, and this demographic is coming whether you're ready or not. The view of the aging workforce is changing, and I think I encourage you to take a look through that prism of age. 2, there are a number of above and below the shoulder issues with the experienced workforce, and when we get them right, we really get some benefits. And I think there are 4 practical ways that we shared with you on how you can improve your workforce. But the bottom line is what makes good sense for a 20-year-old in a workplace even makes better sense for a 50, 60, or a 70-year-old. If you'd like to hear more about this topic or you'd like to contact me directly, you can look at Humantech's blog, The 30-Inch View. We provide product reviews, ergonomics news, and all kinds of other information. You'll find we have us on Facebook. You can like us on Facebook, or you can connect up with me directly on LinkedIn. Again, my name is Josh Kerst. Here you see my information. You can contact me at jkerst@humantech.com, and I'd love to keep the discussion going. So I think that we have shared with you some nice summary of the practical design applications for the aging workforce, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.